Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to pull back the curtain and deconstruct the incredible art of building virtual worlds. We're going to explore the fundamental dimensions that designers use to craft the very universes that just completely captivate us.
It's a fantastic question, isn't it? I mean, sure, mechanics are important, but so often the real answer is the world itself. It's that imaginary place that pulls you in so deep you totally forget you're even playing a game.
So let's break that down. What exactly is a game world? Well, you can think of it as the place you agree to pretend you're in when you step inside what designers call the magic circle of play. It's the entire artificial universe built for the game's story to happen in.
And this right here highlights a super important distinction. You take an abstract game, something like chess, and it's all about the mechanics, right? But in an atmospheric game like, say, Silent Hill, the world is what creates the fantasy. It's what keeps you hooked. The world isn't just some backdrop, it is the experience.
Okay, so how do you even begin to build a convincing world from absolute scratch? Well, the whole process starts with the most fundamental laws of any universe, its physical space and its relationship with time.
The very first choice a designer makes is about dimensionality. Is the world a 2D side-scroller like the classic Prince of Persia, where your movement is pretty limited? Or is it maybe 2.5D like StarCraft, which cleverly uses layers to create a feeling of depth? Or is it a full-on, immersive 3D space that makes you feel like you are in the world, not just looking at it from the outside?
And some games get even wilder, adding what you could call a conceptual fourth dimension, basically parallel realities. Take Legacy of Kain, where the exact same landscape exists in two different realms at once. The buildings are twisted, the rules are different, and you have to learn to think in multiple realities just to survive.
Now this brings up a massive design challenge: scale. Get this. If a wargame map were built to a realistic scale, your units would literally be smaller than a single pixel on the screen. It wouldn't work. So, to make the game playable, designers have to distort scale, making characters and buildings way bigger than they should be, all while trying not to break that suspension of disbelief. It's this constant balancing act between realism and just plain usability.
Every world has to end somewhere, right? So the question is, how do you handle the edge of the map? Some boundaries feel totally natural, like the walls of a building or a stadium. But for those big open worlds, designers pull out all sorts of clever tricks. They might surround the playable area with mountains you can't cross, stick the whole thing on an island, or even let you walk off one side of the map and appear on the other.
Just as crucial as space is how the world handles time. In most games, you'll find that time is on a serious fast-forward. A whole day in The Sims might zip by in about 20 minutes. Because, let's be honest, nobody wants to sit around and wait 8 hours for their characters to sleep. The game is smart. It just skips the boring parts.
And sometimes, time can get, well, weird. It can actually move at different speeds for different things. In a game like The Settlers, a tree can grow from a seedling to full size in about the same time it takes to smelt a couple of iron bars. It makes zero real-world sense, but it's a deliberate choice, all designed to balance the game's economy and make the experience smoother for the player. Realism takes a back seat to fun. All right, so we've got our blueprint of space and time. Now it's time to add the soul. This is what we call the vibe of the world. Its culture, its unique style, and the specific emotions it's designed to make you feel.
Think about a world's culture. You know, its history, its values, its beliefs. A lot of that stuff is invisible, but it's made real through everything you see. It's there in the architecture, it's in what people wear, and it can even be in the design of the user interface. Every single icon on the screen can tell a part of that world's story. And a really coherent world thinks about every single detail, and I mean everything, including sound. A world's environment isn't just about what you see, it's also about what you hear. It's pretty simple. A six-legged reptile with claws is not going to make the same clip-clop sound as a horse. The sound design has to match the visuals for you to really believe it.
And when you put all these little details together, what you get is mood. It's powerful. The physical environment and the art style have a massive role in setting the tone. I mean, just look at the bright, cheerful world of Mario. It's built from the ground up to make you feel playful and happy.
Now contrast that with this. Here, the environmental dimension is tuned to create a completely different emotional reaction. The grim, sand-blasted ruins of Dubai and Spec Ops: The Line are absolutely designed to make you feel a sense of oppression, dread, and deep unease.
And that's really the point, isn't it? The ultimate goal isn't always just fun. Great game worlds are a form of entertainment, and they can stir up a much wider range of emotions than we give them credit for.
Everything from suspense and sorrow to pity and even outrage.
Okay, so now we're going to move to the deepest layer of world building, and honestly, maybe the most fascinating one. Defining the moral code, the very conscience of your universe.
See, when a game tells you you have to do this to win, what it's really doing is defining that action as good within its own universe. The designer, in effect, becomes the god of that game's morality. They're the ones setting the rules for what is right and what is wrong.
And the really compelling games, the ones that stick with you, they present you with tough moral choices. In BioShock, you can harvest the little sisters for a big power-up right away, or you can save them for a different kind of reward down the line. The right choice isn't obvious, and your decision actually matters. It changes your experience.
And then you get games with a really peculiar moral framework. Take America's Army. In a multiplayer match, both teams see themselves as the US soldiers, and they see the other team as generic terrorists. It's a fascinating design choice that creates this strange moral bubble where being right is just a matter of which screen you're looking at.
This all leads to a really crucial principle that designers have to think about. The more a game looks like the real world, the more its ethics probably should too. I mean, nobody bats an eye at the abstract violence in Space Invaders, but highly realistic violence with a shaky moral justification, that's when things can get controversial.
And that's because realism isn't just one big on or off switch. It's actually a whole series of choices across a bunch of different categories. You can have graphics that are photorealistic, but have physics that are completely bonkers. Each slice of this chart is like a different dial that the designer gets to tune up or down.
So, here is the big takeaway from all of this. None of these dimensions work on their own. The physical space and the pace of time, they create the blueprint. The environmental vibe builds the feeling, and the ethical rules, well, they define the world's soul. They all have to interlock to create a single, cohesive, and immersive experience.
So, from the laws of physics all the way down to the laws of morality, a designer's choices shape everything we see, feel, and do. And that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. If you were the architect of a brand new reality, what would be the one single rule that would be the unshakable foundation of your entire world?